What is going on, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? My name is Prodigy, and this is our co-host, Noir Low Bomber, and welcome to the Datascape. Last month in October, we did Villains Month. That was our thematic month for Halloween to kind of celebrate the Kingdom Hearts series, which all those episodes are now available on Spotify for your listening pleasure if you guys want to go check that out, or just check it out on YouTube, wherever you want. Today, or this week, is a special week. It is the anniversary week of Melody of Memory and Chain of Memories, the original Chain of Memories for the Game Boy Advance. You know, I someone probably said this as like an offhanded comment to me, and I just didn't remember like years ago, but Melody of Memory and the original Chain of Memories actually have the same release date. Both memory games released on the same day. That is kind
You
of
think that was intentional?
I I mean, it's Kingdom Hearts. I wouldn't put it past them. So like I want to say yes, but I'm also like there's so much that goes into game development that like trying to purposely do that is very fascinating. You know what I mean? um I don't know. So I'm the big Melody of Memory glazer in the community. I love Melody of Memory. I'm like one of the few people that streams it super consistently. We do Melody of Memory Mondays on the YouTube and Twitch, trying to get that going even more so we can do like online events every week if you guys want to check that out on the channel. Noir over here has done so many challenges for Chain of Memories, and honestly, aside from the Frozen Cavern, is probably even more than the Frozen Cavern, is probably the biggest Chain of Memories glazer that I know. Like, I'll be real, I love Chain of Memories, but I love it as a part of the Kingdom Hearts series. The game by itself, I'm all right with it. You know, like I like it, but like it's one of those games I play once every like other year or once a year. Noir. Noir's a champion. I'll let you take the floor. I know how much you love Chain of Memories. So we're just celebrating those two games today.
Look, Chain of Memories is a goated game, and anyone who disagrees with that doesn't appreciate and understand the nuances that went into that game. I will die on that hill.
Alright, so defend this card system. Like, imagine you're a new player and you're playing Kingdom Hearts 1. Some new players don't like KH1, but imagine you're a player that does like KH1. You like the action, real-time combat, and then you're going to this card system. The card system itself technically isn't hard, but it has such a big learning curve to first get into it before the gameplay just kind of opens up. Wow, what do you think makes the card system appealing, and why is it so, like, fun for you to go back to and make challenges with?
Because I like stuff that challenges my brain, right? I like. So, what makes Chain of Memories so good to me is just the fact that it's not just a weird side title from the Kingdom Hearts series, right? And disregarding its story, because its story, even for the people that don't like Chain of Memories, can admit the story is one of the best in the entire series. Um, the card system really allows someone to look at every fight and be like, there's almost an unlimited number of ways that you could approach a fight. There's almost an unlimited number of ways you could potentially come out on top. You just have to find it, right? And then when you do, you feel so much better because it's like, because like there was an actual like mental hill that I had to overcome in order to win this fight. It wasn't just like when fighting Lingering Will or Yozora, just having muscle memory from certain visual cues with dodging and blocking and stuff like that. No, this required like strategy and tactic, right? It was it's intelligent, right? So like John has mentioned my challenge runs on Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, and I think the first one that I have done publicly, which is also probably the one I'm most well known for, is doing Chain of Memories with the starting deck for Sora's story, right? And I remember I had asked people in Prodigy's Discord server like, hey, do you guys think it'd be possible for me to beat Chain of Memories without changing the deck once, right? So the deck you start out with at the very start of the game, can I basically go all the way to Fauna Marluxia and beat him with that deck? And people are like, oh, no, no, I don't think it's possible. You definitely have to use some slights or whatever. But just think about how the way the game is built, right? The game is built with um working with whatever deck you can make. So part of that is, oh, if I have the starting deck, let's figure out how it's possible to win with that deck. Obviously, I'm like killing myself because I don't have all the other slights that I normally would gain access to, or like any other magic cards. And that was definitely a tough hill uh to come over,
Nora's
but
been
it
begging me
was
to do this challenge for years, by the way. The starting deck challenge.
I will keep asking until you do it.
Fair. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Did you? So this is the Chain Memories anniversary, we mentioned how it's the GBA Chain Memories anniversary. Now, most people have played Rechain over the GBA version, at least at this point in the modern age of Kingdom Hearts. Uh, did you ever play the Game Boy Advance version of the game, or did you only play
It
Rechain?
was actually the first version of the game I played.
That's awesome. I believe my memory's so young for it. I feel like I did touch it, but I definitely did not finish the game. Like
Oh,
100%.
I
Never
beat the game.
never
I beat
finished
the
the
game.
game. I barely opened it up. So it's better to say I just didn't play. I know it's crazy. I'm a Kingdom Hearts YouTuber. That is the only piece of Kingdom Hearts like officially released Kingdom Hearts content I just haven't played. It's the
I
only
still
thing.
have a GBA and a copy of Chain of Memories on the GBA.
That's insane. I know I definitely need to go ahead and stream GBA Chain of Memories at some point. But
So I mean, like I was saying with the starting deck challenge, it just, and I remember I was just updating the Discord servers with every milestone. Like, oh, I just beat the first Riku fight. I just beat the last Riku fight. I just beat uh Marluxia or Larxene. The first Marluxia fight was definitely the most difficult out of all of them. With the third, or not third, the fourth Riku replica fight and the second Larxene fight being like close seconds.
I think my favorite fight in Chain of Memories overall is obviously Marluxia. Marluxia is a very fun fight. It's one of the few fights that well, you can definitely break the Marluxia fight pretty easily, but it's more. It definitely requires more nuance a little bit to break it, I think, compared to Riku or Larxene or even Vexen. You can get away with a lot of the same shots on Marluxia, but Marluxia obviously being the final boss, having like three different phases, it's a little more challenging. Even that phase during the second fight where he's on top of, I don't know what the official like move or like thing is called, but it's the thing that a lot of people theorize is Strelitzia, and we kind of like because of the cutscene and cross where Marluxia like references like like I'll always be there to protect you or something like that, and like you'll be like, I don't know, like you'll be the wings on my back. I actually don't remember the full quote. I just know they make a reference to the Chain of Memories thing, and that's the thing I'm talking about. That second.
It was something like I think Strelitzia said something along the lines of I'll be strong enough to like carry you on my back
Yeah, there we go.
or
Like,
something like that, right?
yeah.
And like it was fun. It's funny that you mentioned that because like right after Lorium was revealed in Union Cross, so before we even learned that him and Strelitzia were siblings, I played through Chain of Memories again, and I was looking at the specter that Marluxia had behind him during the final phase of the last fight, and I was just like, huh, that looks awful lot. That looks an awful lot like like foreteller clothing, like
Mm.
from the clothing, like the robe that they wear that goes all the way down to the hands or a little bit past the hands, and looking at the mask that the Spectre wears. The mask is a skull that goes over their head. similar to how the foretellers have an animal that go over their head.
I see what you're saying. I think
And I was looking at that, I'm like, no, no, that can't be a coincidence.
yeah, I definitely think like while writing Marluxia or Lorium's story for Union Cross, they definitely had to cross reference a lot of things in Chain of Memories, and they probably integrated that into like the foretellers like story and whatnot. So now it's like this really cool little. You now have this past thing that kind of foreshadows like now in the story in like a chronological order, it foreshadows something that does happen in Marluxia's story in the future that they went back and wrote in, that I think is really cool and really awesome to experience as a complete experience for the story. And it was really awesome like looking into those little nods while playing Union Cross or while watching Union Cross's story. I I feel like
Now,
to talk about the
one
combat.
thing one thing I want to ask is what would you say is your favorite wait, so what'd you say your favorite fight was again for
Definitely
Chain of Memories?
Marluxia. So if I had to pick a specific Marluxia, it
The
probably would
first or
be the
second
first.
Marluxia fight?
It'd probably be the first one. Well, there's three Marluxia fights.
Well, yeah, technically. So,
Yeah, probably the first one.
I definitely like the first one, where it's just like that copy of him, where it's like the last like deck battle
Yeah, the one
boss
that
fight.
like he has the move that takes you that jumbles up your entire deck like a little bit.
So like so it's funny. Um, I mean, obviously that's meant to be like one of the hardest bosses in the entire game,
Yeah,
because it's the last time in Sora Story at least you fight a boss with a deck, and I um I remember when I was playing through Chain of Memories, I struggled against Marluxia a lot. Although I don't think he gave me the most trouble as a kid. I think the boss that gave me the most trouble was Riku.
really.
Specifically the final Riku boss fight, so the fourth one.
Okay.
I remember I was stuck on him for days, or actually months. Like I don't remember when specifically I got Chain of Memories, or what time of the year I got Chain of Memories. I don't know if I got it as soon as the game dropped. I wasn't fully sure. I don't think I paid attention to release dates uh back then because Chain of Memories came out when I was 6. So I don't think I really paid. I knew about Chain of Memories because of a commercial that played, but I didn't know when the game came out. But I do remember I beat the game during the summer.
Do you
Like the
think
very first summer that came by after Chain of Memories came out, that's when I beat the game. And I remember uh I was I actually remember the moment I beat Riku Replica for the last time as well. Um I was actually at my mom's friend's house or her apartment because we would often go to her place because she had a pool, and she had like 2 kids around our age, so we would go swimming with them and like kind of have a good time. And I remember my brother and my mom's friends' kids all went out to the pool. My mom's like, "Are you gonna go out there and go to the pool?" I'm like, and I was literally just I had to pause the game and I'd look at my mom like, in a second, I need to beat this guy.
I would have never have gotten away with that? That's the crazy thing. I like if my parents wanted me to
Well,
pause
it
the
wasn't in
game.
a condescending
No,
tone,
no,
right?
no.
So my mom would have shut that down if it was.
Nah, I get you. But like, I mean, I'm gonna be real. Whether I said it nice or not, if my parents asked me to do something, bro, I had to do it. I'm gonna be real. Like I had to do it. I had to get out. I had to get up. It didn't matter if I was in a Call of Duty match. It
Well,
didn't
she
matter if I
didn't
was in a
tell me
WWE
to
match.
go out to
I
swim.
had to
She
get
asked me if I was gonna go
yeah.
because like the adults were inside, just like eating food, talking or whatever, and the kids went out to go swim. So
Right.
my mom was like, "Are you gonna go out with the other kids and go swim?" I was like, "Oh, I will in a second. I just need to beat this guy. Man, I remember saving the game like 5 different times just to make sure that when I turned the game off, I didn't lose my progress.
Yeah, I had a similar thing with Kingdom Hearts 1 and actually a non Kingdom Hearts related, Budokai Tenkaichi 3. I had this habit because I moved around a lot. I grew up in a military family, so we moved around a lot in my elementary school years, and then we settled down a little more towards middle school and high school. Uh, but I lost my memory cards pretty often because there was a
No.
lot of people using the PS2. So what I would do when I did know I'd have a day where I could just use the PS2, especially if it was during summer or on a weekend or a break or something, I would leave the PS2 on the entire day and just try to beat those games in like one sitting or like over like a day or two, leaving the games on. I remember Budokai
You
Tenkaichi
definitely
3.
screwed with the electric bill. You definitely screwed with that.
Probably right, but it's like not probably, definitely did, but it's like I remember with Kingdom Hearts 1, for example. I remember being paused on like Riku Ansem for like days because of that. That fight legit took me so long to beat. Like in Vanilla KH1, it was kind of insane. That fight gives me trauma. So I have like a very similar memory of like being stuck on a fight, parents asking you to do stuff in the middle of the fight, and you have to just leave the screen on pause, and then you go back to it. I want to I wanted to ask this one question, then I want to transition to Melody of Memory just a little bit because it's also that game's anniversary. Uh, do you think, as someone for you, because I can't answer this question, do you think the Game Boy Advance version or the Rechain of Memories version is more difficult?
Definitely. Ooh, that's a good question. In my opinion, I would say the GBA version.
Why is that?
Uh because of the way that the Reach Into Memories version was built, they basically put restrictions in mind with how the AI like incorporates itself in a fight. So like and based off my memory of the GBA version, there was no potential stun lock. There was none of that, right? So like, and I brought this up with one of my challenge videos before, and other people have in their videos talking about Chain of Memories, but everyone that plays Chain of Memories like religiously knows if you get behind an opponent and you attack them and you space it out, they're basically stun locked, right? Now, it's nearly impossible because they're often like they're programmed to track like keep their eyes on you and track you no matter where you go, but there might be opportunities where you can get behind them, right? That's actually how I beat the first Marluxia fight at level 1. um there was none of that on the GBA version because it was all 2D. The transition between looking away from you and turning around to look right at you was instantaneous, right? So you could be spacing it out properly, you could be catching them in like the nastiest combo. Didn't matter didn't matter there was none of that. Not to mention the GBA version didn't have things such as lethal frame, which everyone agrees is the most OP slight imaginable.
Aside from Fire, but yeah, Lethal Frame is pretty. It might be stronger than Fire.
Fire is actually more broken in the Rechain version.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Rechain of Memories. Ugh. Fire is so
So
strong.
yeah, the Rechain. I'm not saying that the GBA version isn't abusable with the card system or like the slights you can use, but the Rechain version is just more abusable.
Yeah, I could see that because for me, whenever I replay through Rechain of Memories, I don't have too much difficulty. And if I do, it's probably because I just didn't grind out deck stuff enough and I was too lazy to. Because slights just completely carry that game. I actually made a tweet like a while back talking about how as much as I love Rechain, as challenging as it is, once you learn the system, it is so abusable. But most people aren't going to experience that on their first playthrough. So that's why it's one of the hardest Kingdom Hearts games to get past. Because not everyone's going to sit there and grind slides. And a lot of people prefer to go into their games as blind as they can. And probably without someone backseating them. So, like, a person going in blind does not know how broken Lethal Frame is, does not know how broken Firaga is, does not know how broken it is to just spam triangle and spam slates on a lot of boss fights, doesn't know how broken, like, potions, elixirs, like those combos are that pretty much negates, like, reload, doesn't know how broken things like Jafar's enemy card is, attack bracer, which basically makes it so that if you use a slide, if you use, like, um, cards, they just can't be broken.
Anything involving an attack card cannot be broken with
Yeah.
attack bracer.
So it's like, so it's just like, not a lot of new players don't know those things, but when you play it, when someone goes back to Rechain, like myself or you, and you know these things, it is extremely abusable, and it honestly makes the game a breeze because every fight, Jafar card. After that, maybe if you want, you have some cop out options. You have, I think guard armor card was pretty good. I forget what it did. You have Vexen card, which I'm pretty sure gives you a free revive. And then there's like some other cards, other enemy cards as well. You could probably make a whole video just talking about how broken the enemy cards are, because not that many people go deep into like Chain of Memories. And I mean, I don't blame them for it. I don't, because for a lot of Cade fans, even if they do play Chain of Memories, uh, it doesn't compete with a lot of people for compete with 1, 2, or 3, or at least 2 and 3. But there is every once in a while, like one out of every like 10 or 20 people who might be like, I love this card system, because there's a lot of people that grew up with games that are more like turn-based, more RPG-ish. Maybe you're a big fan of like TCG stuff, and maybe you have a fondness for cards and you think that's like such a cool, unique combat system in Kingdom Hearts. And
I
I
won't
honestly
say
love them.
that I had a fondness for those games, but I definitely like
Just saying
was
reasons why potentially
yeah,
someone could, but you
but
can like them without them.
yeah, I just even though like I was never really fond of games like that, I was always just naturally just really good at them, right? Any type of strategy game, I was just really good at, right? One that allowed me to take my time and calculate the best approach. Like I was really good at like South Park, the Fractured Butthole, which was a PS4 South Park game that came out a few years ago. I got through that game and beat the secret boss, who was really difficult. I beat him within like my first couple tries.
I never played that game. I remember I wanted to really badly when I was younger. I remember everyone saying that game was like actually really, really good. I don't know if it was just South
It's
Park
good
glizz
and
or
it
not.
is it is difficult if you're not used to those games like that. If you're not good at strategy games. I but going back to Kingdom Hearts, I remember that so like another big difference between Rechain and the GBA version was that the GBA version was definitely more masher friendly. Um, so it was definitely a better idea going through the game just mashing the attack button and playing the game like it was the PS2 game all over again. Now, obviously, you could use slides. Slides could come in handy every now and then, but they were like little tricks or pops you would use every once in a while when things were looking a little desperate. That's not the case in Rechain of Memories. In Rechain of Memories, it's more slight friendly.
Hmm. Okay. I need to get around to playing OG Chain of Memories, and definitely will sooner rather than later, because I think, especially during this drought, it's something I often forget about, but it's like thinking about this podcast being an anniversary, look, it's like, I haven't done that yet, and I need to. I would like to
I'm very surprised that you haven't.
Yeah, so am I. I want to transition to another game that is also about memory that we mentioned during this podcast. It is the anniversary, the 5-year anniversary since the last Kingdom Hearts console game came out.
Yeesh.
Melody of Memory. And I say that sigh not because I don't like Melody of Memory. I do the sigh because it's been 5 years since the last console Kingdom Hearts game.
No, he
we're,
did that
we're,
side. He did that side because the last time I played against John at Melody Memory, I kicked his butt.
hey, bro, if you want to run the verses on Melody of Memory Mondays, on Mom Mondays, you can pull up anytime. Get it on Epic or shoot.
Bet.
I don't know if I want to buy it. I don't know if I want to buy it on. Actually, it's on sale right now. I don't know if it'll be on sale when this podcast goes up, but currently until the 17th of November, it is on sale for 60% off. $20 on Epic Games. Use my credit code
Really?
Nara NARA, by the way. Uh, Sorry for the shill. Sorry for the plug a little bit, but Melody of Memory. So there's not too much to talk about gameplay wise with this game. I mean, there is, but I feel like the main things to cover gameplay wise is, I mean, well, it's a rhythm game. It is a very unique rhythm game in that they try to develop this rhythm game to feel as close as possible to Kingdom Hearts. And that's so weird because they don't have to do. They could have just very easily have just done like Theater Rhythm, but like for Kingdom Hearts. But they made a really beginner friendly rhythm game for one, and I think they kind of succeeded. I mean, like, yeah, you're still automated, you're still like pressing R, you're using shoulder buttons and stuff too, and you can customize the layout, but I kind of do feel like it feels like Kingdom Hearts. I mean, you glide by holding circle, you attack with X. Like the base controls for basically everything is kind of the same as just a normal KH game, and it's kind of surprising, like how successful they were at making a rhythm game that feels like just a normal action Kingdom Hearts game. They call it an action rhythm game. Uh, it's fun. It's good. I replay Melody Memory a lot. Probably one of my most replayed Kingdom Hearts games aside from like 2 Rando and KH3. Uh, is one of my most played non-numbered titles over the past 5 years because I mean it's easy to turn on, do a couple of songs, turn off, and it's a good time.
So I definitely like Melody and Memory for what it is. I always prefer longer stories that just allow more content to be pushed out. So obviously when it comes to its story, Melody and Memory isn't breaking any charts for me or topping any charts. That's just because the story is so short. It does kind of set things up for Kingdom Hearts 4 in a way from what it looks like, so I can appreciate the game for that. But
They could sum it up. They could sum up the entirety of Melody Memory's story in a cutscene, and it is sad. But like I would even say that the game is might be more inconsequential than even Recoded is. And Recoded, like I know there's a lot of lore implications that Recoded did to introduce data, like the element of data to Kingdom Hearts. At least to well, it didn't introduce it, but like it explored it in a lore setting, Recoded. But Melody of Memory, like it's literally like 30 minutes. It's like 20 minutes of like a like Kyrie story, and there's some very interesting bits in there. But it's like I do feel like it could just be summed up in a cutscene in 4.
yeah, that honestly sounds about right. I it it's funny. I remember what's his name? You guys know that one uh Kingdom Hearts TikToker that makes that whole like, oh, when Sora encounters Sephiroth, right, gets ready for a fight, then just gets one shotted.
I'm not
Um,
familiar.
I, I it's his name's Cloudy McDowell, or I think
Oh,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I don't think they're a Kingdom
I,
Hearts
I,
TikToker, but they're yeah, they've been around for a while doing those skits. I remember when they
I,
were
I,
popping
re-
off of those skits. Like
I remember when Melody and Memory came out. Like I was super excited because it was a new Kingdom Hearts game or Kingdom Hearts story, and like he was streaming at the time, and I was like, hey, Melody and Memory like just dropped, like it's 9 p.m. like it just dropped. And he looked at my comment, and during the stream he was like, oh yeah, Melody and Memory's out, guys, go play it. Like he was so disinterested.
I mean, I I don't know. Melody of Memory, like it's a really good game, but it is the I actually am fine with titles like Melody of Memory in Kingdom Hearts though, but it is the definition of a side title. Like people used to get like annoyed at people what was the trigger word? What's the trigger word for the fan base pre KH3 side games? Was it side games or was it
Spin-off.
spin-offs? Spin-offs is the trigger word. Melody of Memory, I mean, it's canon. It's kind of silly that it's canon. I won't lie, considering how much story it has. But it kind of is. Like it doesn't have much going on for it. Like all the stories shoved at the end, like literally at the very end. I remember the night the game came out. I think it took me 11 hours to beat it or something like that. It took me some amount of time, maybe 8, somewhere around there. And I streamed all of it. I don't think it's up. I do still have the entire live stream on my in my folders, but I don't think it's up on YouTube, and it's because at the time, I mean, it's copyright like galore for that game. Like every time I stream it,
Yeah.
copyright, copyright, copyright. But I
I mean,
still stream it
there
anyway
are
because it was
straight up
fun.
just Disney songs just ripped from the movie into
Yeah,
the
and
game.
crazy enough, I actually wish they added more. I think they could have went heavier with the Disney songs. Like for a Kingdom Hearts rhythm game, with how much music Kingdom Hearts has, with how much IP Kingdom Hearts has access to with Disney content, with the fact that Melody even released like a year and a half after KH3, and at the end of the same year Remind came out. Remind came out in January of 2020. Melody Memory came out in November of 2020. And it's like it borderline a year, like a month and a half shy of a year from like of a year since Remind. No KH3 music really, like barely any. Like half of them are theater songs from the game itself, but there's not many field tracks. And maybe part of the
I think the
reason
reason they did that was because they didn't want to have to try and
recreate
recreate the
assets.
huge maps and assets from Kingdom Hearts three's game, just to have Sora and like whoever else you're playing as like run through it. I
Yeah,
totally understand that.
that's part of it.
I do think there should have been more Kingdom Hearts 3 music, just
Yeah,
because Kingdom Hearts 3 has a whole lot of just unique songs in its soundtrack that I think is a total missed opportunity. And like honestly, there in my opinion, Melody and Memory is the definition of missed opportunity in the Kingdom Hearts series. Because Melody and Memory, while it does have a lot, there's so much that they could have added that like would have just made it 1,000 times better. So first example, right off the bat, the playable characters. While I do appreciate the 4 different teams, basically built it like Sonic Heroes. You had 4 teams that basically play identical,
yeah, no difference. There's
and
battle quotes.
and the 4 that they picked happened to be the 4 most popular and most played protagonists in the entire series: Sora, Riku, Aqua, and uh,
Can you
Roxas.
talk about how dirty they did Riku though? Like Riku don't even got like bro's trio was Dream Eaters. Like
Well, the only people that he would realistically partner with would be Mickey and Sora, but Mickey was his own thing and Sora had his own team.
yeah, I mean
So
you're
it
right, but
makes
it's
sense.
just like
And not to
dang,
mention
bro.
the Dream Eaters are like from Dream Drop Distance, which even though Sora is playable in Dream Drop Distance, I consider Dream Drop Distance Riku's game.
It is. It is 100% Riku's game.
So
Nomura straight up said Riku's the protagonist of Dream Drop in the
yeah,
Ultimania.
he said he added Sora and in after the fact, which I think was nah, just should have been just Riku if I'm being
I'm not
honest.
completely sure if he said that, but I'll let it rock because I'm not 100% positive, but just letting it be known. I'm not 100% sure if he added him after, but he definitely is intended to be like the real main character of Dream Drop, and Nomura did say that in the Ultimanias.
Also, when it comes to missed opportunity, uh, Kyrie, right?
Yeah, cover art. Not playable. Okay.
Cover art, but not playable. Or the only way she's playable is like
One
during
final world
like
segment.
two different levels in the story, and that is it. And I'm like, what the heck? Right? That makes no sense. I also didn't like the fact that they basically made a KH3 render of Sora, but anytime you play as Team Classic, you only play as KH1 Sora. There are no options for KH2 or KH3 Sora.
Yeah, they called it Team Classic too. In my head, I like calling the Don and Goofy trio. I like calling them the Trinity trio because I feel like that makes a lot of sense for them. But they just called them Team Classic, bro. It's interesting. Well, I mean, they don't call any of them their fandom names because I mean, I don't think Nomura or the team refers to them as that. They're just like they're a trio, but they don't give them like a trio name, even though trios are a big thing in Kingdom Hearts. But yeah, they had Team Classic and they just called it Team Days, I think. And then what they called the Birth by Sleep? Did they just call it Team Birth by Sleep or something in Melody
Yeah,
of
Team
Memory?
BBS.
Team BBS. Yeah, and then what was Riku's dream called? Was it Team Dream Drop Distance? They just name them after the
Uh,
games.
it was Team 3D.
Team 3D. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. What I do find interesting about Melody of Memory though is it uses the original tracks instead of the remastered tracks. And you know, Nomura did say that this game was in development and planning before KH3 came out, maybe even well before it came out. So that was a reason for the lack of KH3 songs in the game.
Yeah, but we live in an era of DLC.
I think they could have added some DLC to it, but I'll admit, I do think Melody of Memory would be in a lot more controversy and probably would have done even worse if the game was priced at $60. Like it was priced at a full 60, not 40. Sorry, I dropped some on my desk. Not 40, not 30. Right now it's on sale for 20, but it was priced at a full $60. Imagine on top of that DLC. I would have bought it because I'm a Kingdom Hearts super fan. I'm a show where we have a whole podcast, dozens of
They've
episodes
already
compared to
laid
Kingdom
claim to
Hearts.
my wallet. They've had
Yeah,
it for a long time.
we're freaks and we're gonna buy it, but like, and they know we're gonna buy it. They know people like me and you are gonna buy it, but like, the wider audience that makes up honestly the majority, because like we do this and like we have the podcast, we talk about KH a lot, but the average fan they don't like they can wait. They can pick and choose. Cage might be their favorite series, but that they can chill. They're okay with. All right, I'll just get this out of a YouTube video, or I'll wait for a sale 2-3 years from now. Like they're I don't know. I would have liked some DLC. I would have liked some extra content, to be honest, because I would have liked to play it, but it would have looked bad. It would have definitely have looked bad. I do wish they had an online invite button though. Dude, that would have been so good, but they
That
didn't do
was
it.
that was a fumble.
It's like they dipped their toes in the water but didn't like dive in, like sort of thing with the online. And we weren't even expecting online. Online was a surprise. Like we were not expecting verses or anything. So I'm very grateful that we got that. But it's like if you're going to add it, let me just play with my friends. Luckily, on the Epic Games version, there are mods. There are mods made by people in the community, made by Water Cage, who I believe Water Cage is the one who made the Melody Memory Invite mod. But yeah, like there are mods for Melody Memory that add more music, that add more that add an invite button. So that's even more of a reason to get on PC potentially. But yeah, it's tragic. The game, some of the things about the game is a little tragic, admittedly.
And I think one of the biggest issues that Melody Memories has right now is the fact that its replayability isn't like any of the other main games. So it can't realistically, with replay value alone, last uh 5 years or so, which is kind of hard for any game to live up to as far as replayability. But considering that that's the last game we've gotten for Kingdom Hearts, and now we're in this wait for Kingdom Hearts 4, like realistically, you tell a Kingdom Hearts fan, "Oh, just play Melody and Memory until Kingdom Hearts 4 comes out," you might get slapped.
I mean, I've been doing it a little bit, but yeah, like I agree. I think like I jumble Remind, Melody of Memory, the Key Saga. I kind of refer to them as they're like the introduction to the Lost Master Saga, they're like the prologue to the Lost Master Saga a little bit, especially Melody of Memory and Remind. Because they feel like they lead very well into like Yozora and Quadratum and setting that entire plot point up. So I really wonder where we're gonna be at come Kingdom Hearts 4. Like
Don't let Kyrie get shafted. I'm telling you now, Square. Do not let Kyrie get shafted.
the
The community
story
will never let you live it down.
the story is honestly perfectly set up for Kyrie to be able to have one of the biggest glow ups like imaginable for a character. And I genuinely believe that. Me and Noir are some of Kyrie's biggest fans. And it's like I think it was okay. I wish we followed a little more in KH3. Remind for me satisfied me. Like it kind of, I won't say it fixed everything with her in KH3, but it made a lot of improvements, and I would say I am satisfied with where Kyrie's at right now in the story. I'm satisfied, right? But I still want more. Uh, but with Remind and or with Melody of Memory, a lot of people were mad at this originally, but I enjoyed the aspect, or I liked the aspect that she actually stayed back to help Riku, or to help like to train with Master Aqua, because I think it shows a sign of maturity. It shows that okay, she doesn't want to just run in, be a damsel in distress, run in head first. She did train with Lee. She did train with in Merlin's little I don't know like time like pocket dimension, but if they actually let her train, if we have a game with her training, we see her go through the whole works of training and getting stronger and this and that. Maybe a year passes while Riku and Sora are trapped in Quadrom. That could be a big thing, right? And she becomes a Keyblade Master. And let's say we do finally get her to go there and save them. I think that would be cool. Like we do actually see improvement from her, because I think a lot of people want to play catch up, and I get that. I totally do. Like the series has been around for about to be 25 years, and Kyrie is still doing the damsel in distress role, and the reason is unfortunately she just doesn't have a lot of screen time. Like the majority of Kyrie's screen time is in number tiles. We know how big of a gap there is between like 2 and 3 and now 3 and 4. So like I think instead of just because we want Kyrie to be here doesn't mean she gets to skip all the progress on the way. We want to see that character development. We want to get to know her more outside of just like caring about Sora and Riku. We want to see that. So like let her
Yeah,
train,
don't
let her
don't let her be a
develop.
Mary Sue.
Exactly. Don't just like have her pull the keyblade like Avra back Phantom Force style like they did in Star Wars. We ain't doing that, bro. Like let's. I'm sorry. I had to make a Star Wars reference, but just let Kyrie get the development, put in the work, and let her shine that way. Because I think then when we do get our result, when we do get there, it'll be so much more satisfying. But that's my take.
I mean, there's nothing more I can say about Kyrie that I haven't already gone uh on about ad nauseum. I I made an entire fan game concept. That video is well over an hour long.
Yeah.
That alone should preach what I want for Kingdom for Kyrie and Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys gotta watch what was the video? Reconnect, right?
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts
Kingdom
Reconnect.
Hearts Reconnect, yeah. which is also a fan event that they host for Kingdom Hearts 2. By the way, they just had one in July of this year, which shoot, I heard was like a lot of fun. So shoot, Kingdom Hearts fan events, they exist. But yeah, this was the anniversary for Chicken of Memories and Melody of Memory. There will probably be future episodes where we dive even deeper into these games like individually. I'm thinking about doing like a series next year for Kingdom Hearts where me and Noir, we both play through the Kingdom Hearts games. We replay them on our own time. And then after replaying them, just kind of like on our own, chilling, casual runs, we, come on the podcast right after we beat them, and then just talk about them. Kind of like retrospectives. The retrospectives we used to seeing on YouTube, but the podcast version of these retrospectives. Obviously, these games are pretty fresh in our minds. We analyze these all day, but replaying it, having certain things, little things we want to point out, it's always nice to have it even more fresh. So if you're interested in that, leave a like, comment down below, tell me your thoughts. But that might do it for my thoughts today. What about yours?
I think that covers everything for me.
Yeah. Well, I enjoyed today's episode. It was a lot of fun talking about Kyrie, talking about Chain of Memories, talking about Melody of Memory. Happy anniversary to both of those games. Uh, Hopefully, the next time we reach a Melody of Memory anniversary, hopefully we have some news with this, some KH4 news. But we'll see. Hopefully, have a follow up to that story in Quadron, because that's the last place the story left off. Riku leaving. That is the most. That is the furthest along in the timeline we are in Kingdom Hearts. That is the furthest thing forward we know. I guess kind of aside from Sora and Quadron, but we don't know how far forward that is. We don't know if that's the time stuff's kind of weird there. We don't know how Quadron time works necessarily because yeah, just yeah. But that about does it for us, guys. Thank you so much for watching today's podcast episode. I really, 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 really do appreciate it. Well, shoot, my name is Prodigy.
My name is Noir Little Bomber.
And remember to be nice, be safe, and take care, everyone. See you guys later. Bye.